Definitely want to, be in the runnings for Rookie of the Year, if not get it.
Cleveland, no?
I honestly, I think Cleveland's more regular season.
When you get to the playoffs, you can beat anybody.
Yes.
And we've proved that, and so I've been in that situation a lot of times where, nobody thought we were going to win.
I really do want to bring a championship to Miami.
Yes.
Since you're new to the Miami Heat, we're going to go right into some fan questions because they want to talk to you too.
Okay. I got one question though.
He always gets the first fan question.
No, this ain't a fan question.
Right.
I ain't gonna say the fan questions right now.
Yeah, usually
you know
say fan
now, I'm
questions.
not gonna say that right now, but I do got a question right now. What have you when you met Rouse? Because I took 2 years to speak to Rouse. Yeah. I was intimidated. He's the only man in my life I was ever intimidated, maybe a little nervous. I thought he was in the mob.
Okay.
When you met Rouse, was you a little intimidated? Was you nervous? Was you a little nervous? The great Pat Rouse.
I mean,
what have you heard?
Not intimidated, but it was just like, because I watched the Winning Time, of course. But I asked him about that too.
Oh, what is?
Wait. What was the answer? What was the answer?
I mean, he was just like he didn't really. I don't think he really liked it too much.
No, he ain't like it. I can help you with that.
Yeah,
he ain't like that.
That's why I wanted to hear what his answer was. What was his answer?
But I can't, word for word remember it. But he ain't like it. He ain't like it. Yeah, he ain't like it. But so what was the question?
Are we nervous around Pat Riley?
Yeah, was you nervous around Pat?
Now he a godfather now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't intimidated about him, but it was definitely like every time I looked at him, I was like, damn.
Okay.
Yeah, like Pat Riley right here.
Yeah, he got that aura about him. You know what I'm saying?
That's when you
command the room, dog.
That's when you know you one of them dudes is when these eras keep coming down, and now you're like for us 44, we were still like that, and now being a young buck, how you 20?
20, yeah.
Yeah, now you're 20. You still understand the aura of Pat Riley. That's when you know you're a real OG.
That's real. And then Spo, how was it when you met Spo?
Spo's a legend.
Spo's a great guy.
Legend.
Yeah, you could tell he definitely wants the best for you.
And he cares.
Yeah.
One thing I know about Spo, and I can speak to that, is he cares about his guys. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
He definitely cares about his guys.
Now, since he got his fan question out, we're going to go back to the real fan question.
Okay.
What's your top 3 goals for your rookie season?
Top 3 goals. I definitely want to be Rising Stars in that.
Okay.
I definitely want to, be in the runnings for Rookie of the Year, if not get it.
Like it.
Yeah. And I definitely, just for something to challenge myself, I want to be on an all defensive team.
There we go.
Yeah.
That got to be music to your
Here we go.
ears over there.
I got one goal to finish out Summer League too. Every game, I want you to be out of league and rebounding.
Okay.
Every game.
I got you.
Every game, I want you to average a rebound every 3 minutes.
I was going to tell you, break it down to him.
If you average a rebound every 3 minutes in the NBA, that's above average. And
because NBA game's longer too.
Yeah. So if you average a rebound every 3 minutes, then it's say in a 48-minute game, that's about 15 rebounds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which we understand you ain't gonna play 48 minutes, but that's the mindset, that's the motive that you got to have. So for the rest of this summer league, I want you to try to average a rebound every 3 minutes.
Gotcha.
And if them little is in your way and they on our team,
push them out of the
go
way.
over top of their ass. I put plenty of hickeys on D-Wade head. Because listen, you get to take 17, 18, 25 shots.
Yeah.
I get 3 shots,
the
maybe 4.
the rebounds
and you
mine.
down here want the rebounds too? No.
Yeah, the rebounds
I'm going to
mine.
get it, or none of us going to get it. I'll knock that motherfucker out of bounds and you. Listen, I'm not out here getting the shot, so let me get my rebound. So it's been plenty of times where I jumped over D-Wade, hit him in the head, and the ball went out of bounds. And he just looked back at me, and I just look at him like, hey.
Coach, how many shots D-Wade get? 17, 18, 25?
18 to 25. 17, 18 to 25.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He can go without boards.
Yeah, so when it cut to the rebounds, man, dude is mine. That's my world. So if you could, just keep that in your mind, a rebound every 3 minutes. I got that from the great McAdoo.
I was going to say that's big time advice because that's the next level, right? Because the next question I'm going to ask you is where I'm starting to see it even when you were in high school to Oregon and now Indiana is what parts are you trying to expand in your offensive game? That's another fan question. I like it.
And my offensive game, physically I would say definitely, get my upper body more stronger.
Yeah.
I would say that. But offensive game, continue what I've always been working on, being able to put the ball on the floor a little bit, being able to shoot the ball outside the perimeter. But because I've always been dominating inside, so I'm never gonna lose that. So I just kind of want to add to it.
I'll give you some advice too. If you look at the roster and the way you create stuff and where you can put yourself in even better positions, especially early.
Yeah.
Like for all young kids coming in, what you do early doesn't mean what you're going to be 4 or 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Right. But when you see, Jimmy Butler, Terry Rozier, Tyler Herro, Bam, right? Continue to put pick and rolls and put pressure on the rim and catching lobs, because I've already seen it here. You're starting to stretch your game out to 3, which you've always already had.
Yeah.
But that's a huge addition. But putting pressure on that rim and seeing how the young bigs are coming in and making an impact in the game, it's keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Right. Use your athleticism, your size, and putting pressure on the rim to let these other guys eat, and they'll. The other guys love that.
Listen, you get 2 roll to the basket lobs. That sucks the whole defense in. Now we're allowed to spray the basketball
for the threes.
And out of threes. Yeah. So that there's a domino effect of those lobs and what guys like yourself that have that kind of motor can do for a team's offense. That is unmatched. You know what I'm saying?
And last thing for most young kids, man, is putting that thing to red. Like, every time you're out there, if it's 5 minutes, like 5 minutes all out.
Oh, yes.
Right? Like, because you don't know how, like with this team right here, you're going to have to find minutes and find places, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
You're in an unbelievable spot for me. I love it. The Heat culture, the identity of Heat culture, playing with great players. That's an unbelievable spot for you, for all young kids, man. I'm happy for you.
Yes, sir.
Has the culture been what you've heard so far? Have you felt a little bit of what you heard about the culture so far? It's gonna get more. Trust me. It's gonna get more intense.
Yeah.
But has it been what you heard about it so far?
Oh yeah. Even with working with Dan. Well,
Dan
Coach
been
Dan
doing great, man.
Yeah.
Shout out
doing
Dan.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, even just working with him, practices, the energy that he brings, and like I said, even with Coach Spo, you could tell he got that competitive spirit, but he wants to have fun with it, wants to win.
Yes.
So
even the summer league game yesterday, you know what I'm saying? It's always a little more behind it when we're playing against Boston. You know what I'm saying? It's a summer league game, and we sitting out there, and a lot of these guys might not make the Boston team. A lot of these guys might not make our team. We don't know. Hope the best for everybody, but that game just felt a little different.
Yeah,
just felt a little different. So just know you understand. You inherit the rivalry.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's my first game of the little rivalry series.
Yeah, you inherit the rivalry.
1-0 so far.
Yeah, it's a couple more, but that's the one at the top of the food chain for sure. You inherit the rivalries, bro.
Especially when you go into Boston, that thing gonna be fun.
Man, listen, it's an experience, man.
Yeah,
You're never gonna forget that experience.
Yeah,
that kind of experience, that kind of environment brings the best out you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I will say about that.
I don't know if this is a fair question because I don't know how many of the vets have been around, but what Heat vet has been the most helpful for you so far?
I would say Bam.
Good.
Yeah, Bam. Me and Bam got each other's number. So, and like I said, we played ones and got some shots up. I think the second day that I was there.
Great.
So just texting him, chopping it over him. So
great. So quick story is when he got drafted, I had the way social media work. You can find anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
DM'd him up. You know what I'm saying? He hit back. I don't be sliding in the DMs, but I just let a young fella DM, man. I'm sure you got to block a few. He done moved to Miami now. Hey, listen, he off. He off. He got work to do. Miami, leave him alone. But it slid in the DM. He hit me right back, and we connected. And the first thing that I wanted to do was I spoke to Bam as well, and you know what I'm saying, it's out of my hands, but I wanted to make sure him and Bam connected because that's how we do.
For sure.
So I connected with Bam. I put the ball in Bam's hands, and he does what we do here. You know what I'm saying? Take care of our guys, and I'm happy to know that you guys got together. I'm happy y'all played ones. I'm happy y'all had those conversations because I didn't know that part. I just know that I told him, hey, talk to young fella, y'all connect, and he did the rest. And I love to see that because that's what we do here. Iron sharpens iron.
We got a lot of fan questions. We ain't gonna get to all of them, but this is how excited they are for you to have you back in Miami because Miami fan base is getting crazy over the stuff right here.
Yeah, they excited about even the game that we just played.
No doubt, it's wild.
Back then, you're back in the 2000s. I remember when you walked in the gym for that tryout in that summer. You came back from Europe. I said, "Who's that?" That's the guy who played at Florida. I said, "Oh, the guy at Florida, there's 300 pounds, but he could rebound. He was smart. He could run, but he was a little big,
God damn, Kelel, ain't that funny. Show ass up.
He was there. And then you had gone to Europe, and you came into our summer league for a rookie workout, tryout, and that was it. I saw you, and I said, okay. I said, what are we going to do? I'll offer you a contract. And I would never forget you saying this to me. You said, Coach, I like it here. I was raised in Miami, but I got to go to San Antonio. I promised Pop I'd come down for a workout, and I'm going to. I said, Papa get him, that'll be it. I'll be gone. He'll be out of here. And you went down, did your workout, and then you came back and signed with us, and here it is 20 years later. And but the best thing for me is when we were in Puerto Rico, and I saved it up for Puerto Rico. We went down there, Mike, and we're playing in a preseason game down there in Puerto Rico, and we had a good team because it's right after Zoe got sick, and I loved that first team that we had, but then we went down there, and it was Dwayne, it was Caron Butler, it was Eddie Jones, Brian Grant, and Lamar Odom, okay? Pretty good group of young guys to start with.
Really good team.
Yeah. And then, so I'm announcing the starting lineup, and I named Dwayne, Eddie, Caron, Brian Grant, and everybody's. Lamar starts to take one step out there. I said, nope, UD. And not because Lamar wasn't a hell of a player. He's one of the all-time best players. But he would be great coming off the bench. And so the day that UD walked into that starting lineup, it's because he worked his ass off to get there. I loved that team. Of course, we made the trade that we had to make to get Shaq and won our championship. But you were part of that. So
I got to go back to the part about me not being able to shoot. I got to give you credit. Do you remember that day I was in the gym shooting and I was ball watching?
Oh, yeah.
And you said, why the fuck you said, why the fuck you keep looking at the ball?
Right.
And I said, because I'm shooting the ball. And he was like, no, keep your eye on the basket.
Right.
And I think that day, not saying I was ever the greatest shooter, but I think that day made me a capable shooter, a better shooter.
Yeah.
And shit, 15, 17 feet.
Yeah.
If the wind wasn't blowing, that's cash.
No, it's cash. Mike was he was a sniper.
Yes.
He was a sniper.
Yes.
But you, around that 15-foot area, you developed a shot.
You told me that.
Absolutely. But I was taught that when you shoot the ball, that you keep your eye right on the front of the rim or the back of the rim, and then you just, the follow through is to take your finger, your two index, and you drop them right over the front of the rim, and then you say to yourself, I like to get paid. I like to get paid. And every time you shoot it, I like to get paid. And, it gives you a positive energy about those shots going in and everything. But you made the biggest shots in the fourth quarter in 2006 when we needed them, man. You two jumpers, elbow jumper, corner jumper, and then that offensive rebound that you made that helped us stave off the Mavericks in the fourth quarter. Yeah. And
you told me that night. Do you remember what you told me before that game?
Yeah.
You told me I was going to have a big game.
Big game.
You told me don't think about it. You told me be ready to shoot. You're going to be open and that you're going to help win this series.
You're never afraid, UD. So, I know when there are players, a coach knows when there are players that might be fearful of that moment. When you're playing for the title, when you're playing for it and you got a chance to win the championship, man, that changes players' mentality. Sometimes it changes a coach's mentality too. And so you weren't afraid to win at the biggest moment. Dwayne wasn't afraid to win. All of those players that we had at that time, GP wasn't, Pose wasn't, Antoine wasn't, J. Will wasn't. J. Will was a little scattery, at times, but Shaq wasn't, you weren't, and we ended up winning that title. And that was the first. And it was a group of guys that weren't afraid to win, and that was what it's all about, man.
And did you remember telling us that we were going to be champs on June 20th?
Well, I had to think of something.
How the hell?
We just
got
our ass kicked.
Well, we had just lost, and you said that we're going to be champions on June. Now we sit in the locker room like, what? Did he just see what we saw? We just got our asses handed to us, and you said that we're going to be champions on June 20th.
I don't know. I think coaches have to find a way to plant a seed for something that's positive that's down the road. So we got beaten the first two games badly. And I think, well, what am I going to do? And I know GP at that time was a little bit cantankerous in the locker room after the game. When I put that up on the board, 6/20/06, and I said, well, that's the first day that any team can win the championship, and we're going to win it that day. I said, we're going to win it on that date. So I just sort of put it out there to give you something to think about, that there's a goal that we can do this, and that's the day we're going to win it. And I remember, Gary was in the back of the locker room, and so he said, oh, that's great. So but Pat, how are you going to help us get there? And I said, Gary, and I try to keep it simple. I said, Gary, I said, look, if you believe in us and you believe in that date, just follow me. Now, I'm gonna lead you there. I'm going to take you there, Gary. You know, Gary's a little cynical, but I love him. I saw him at the Hall of Fame the other night. You know, I don't have it with me right now, but he pulled out his 15 strong card. And his Warrior card. It's like a credit card that everybody carries. You know?
One of the best guys I've ever played with.
Yeah, I'm on GP.
Never back down.
Nope.
What I love about him. Remember, you kicked us out that day we were fighting. So both of you get the fuck out of here. Both of you get the fuck out.
No, because you guys were real. You see, there's guys who fight and there's guys who swing. Swing and miss, and how many can come get in between here somewhere or something like that, you know? But anyhow, let me just, you know, we can finish this part, because I think you asked a very good question about, you know, how do you get players, you know, do certain things. And I made a point about, you know, players having to get out of themselves and sacrifice and be part of the team and accept their roles. It's not easy. Everybody wants to climb that ladder, you know, they do. And, you know, but the most important thing is that you guys allowed me a certain, you know, power, a certain part of me to be able to go hard at us. You know, be honest with us.
Yes.
You didn't mind as long as, you know, you thought I was saying the truth. Now, my truth as a head coach and your truth as a starting power forward, Shaq's truth as the center, Dwayne, whoever's playing, we all have sort of a different truth about us, and that's born out of like where we come from, and we all get there in a different manner. But once we get there and you mix that salad up, it all has to come together, and that's the beauty of that team. That was the beauty of the big three, and all of those guys coming together too, and it works. And even teams that may not be championship contenders, we all go in with a very positive training camp mentality. We're going to win, and a lot of players, we ain't going to win nothing. But you go in with that mentality, you're going to win, and somewhere during the course of the season, you believe you can win.
Yes.
When you get to the playoffs, you can beat anybody.
Yes.
And we've proved that, you know. And so I've been in that situation a lot of times where, you know, nobody thought we were going to win. I always thought we would win. I knew these guys would buy in, and once they bought into everything, then you got a chance to win. And it isn't just because you got a lot of talent. And as I said, we've always had a lot of talent on those championship teams, but we also have had times where we got to the Eastern Conference Finals where we didn't have that much talent, and it was teamwork. You can win it sometimes, you know?
Yes. I mean, when we talk about the championships that we won, we've all had big moments outside of the bigger guys.
Yeah.
I had my moment. Mike had his moment.
Right.
Shane Battier had his moment.
Absolutely.
Mario had his moment.
That's it.
Ray Allen had his moment, even though he's a Hall
You just
of
hit him.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has had their moment, and if you don't buy in, you're not ready for your moment.
Yeah.
If you're not 4 feet
You're
in,
right.
we can say 2 feet in.
You're right.
I like to say 4 feet in. If you're not 4 feet in, then you're not ready for your moment.
Yeah.
I remember me and Shane used to go back and forth in the playoffs, and one series would be a series for him, and one series might be a series for me.
That's right.
And I had his back every single time. All right, let's strength and honor, brother. Let's go. It's your time.
But you like each other. You see, we also had guys, you know, who liked each other. There are some teams where, you know, they can get it done on the court and then they get off the court and they never see each other. But you guys generally liked one another, and I think that's really important. And so having somebody always step up in their role, and their role might be a certain thing, and we leave everything to Dwayne, or we leave everything to Shaq, or you leave everything to, you know, somebody else at that particular time. You stepped out of your role, and all of a sudden you played, you know, bigger than what your role was. Just like you made the point about Shane making 6 threes in the 7th game, and Mike Miller, you know, making that 3 right in front of me while he dropped his shoe.
Yes.
You know, and I almost went down on the court and got the shoe myself and threw it back at him.
You know he couldn't bend over and get it himself with that badass back.
I know.
He was broken by then.
No, he's a courageous player. You know, Mike was, I had a bad back, so I knew how hard it is when you have one that goes out. It just spasms up on you and gets so tight that, I mean, you're taking opioids left and right just to loosen it up. I hate to bring that subject up, but we all have done it. To play.
You gotta do what you gotta do to get out there.
You know?
I'm watching the game the other night, and you're mic'd up, and I'm seeing you be more vocal than you've ever been. Was that uncomfortable for you to get out of that shell, or is that something now that you're growing into a leader, a father? You know what I'm saying, being your best version on the basketball court. Is that something that you look to do now? Is be more vocal? Is that natural for you? Or is that still a little uncomfortable, hard?
It's a little bit more natural now because I've gotten more comfortable to do it, and like I always, like on my high school team and college teams, I know those are different levels, but I was always the leader on those teams too. So just honestly, just being in the league for 4 or 5 years, watching you, watching Jimmy, watching Bam, watching everyone who's came through, even we've had Jay Crowder, PJ Tucker, Kyle Lowry, like a bunch of older guys, Goran, Iguodala, like a bunch of different vets that I could like watch how they lead, how they talk to different guys, how you may lead with this guy is going to be different from this guy. So,
Great point.
So just like watching everybody, I was slowly taking my notes in my head and just trying to build my own way.
That's the best way.
No way's the right way, just trying to build my own way. And
but that's the best way. The best way is to do it your way, be authentic to what works for you, and obviously on your due time, because if you're forcing it, then the guys can see right through that.
Yeah, I don't want to force it either.
They can see right through that.
So I kind of just try to let it naturally come into the point where I could be a voice in the locker room and talk to guys, and I feel like this is the year where I've kind of stepped up in that regard, and I feel like guys listen to me. I'm not overdoing it either because I'm not that type of dude.
But you put the work in, so they respect that. If
Right.
something come from you, nobody can question it because you put the work in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. They know what you
and
about.
and you know how we are. We just want the best for the team. This ain't about trying to be personal or this, that, or the third. Like we want to win. We want everyone to get better every single day. So that's what it's all about.
I be having my own fan question. Sorry, Killer. Go ahead. You can fire off yours. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
The noise. I feel like it takes a toll on mental. Not sure if it's just anything you can handle that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, pressure makes diamonds. Pressure build diamonds. I also think pressure isn't like a real thing, bro. Like pressure is like what people people are putting that onto you. Like that ain't real. So I look at it like that. Like that shit ain't even real for real.
I like that. I like that.
One of the coaches told me growing up when I was playing in the league is pressure's for the guys that aren't prepared. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah.
it's the same
That's
thing.
why like we rely on the work,
for
bro.
it is what it is.
There's no pressure. Like
Trust the work.
yeah, we just shot 500 shots last night. We coming to play the game, bro. There can't be that much pressure on this shot.
Great point. Great point for all you kids at home.
We put the work in. There can't be that much pressure.
Great point, man. Great.
If you're gonna put that much work in, you got to live with the results.
Exactly.
Pressure. I'm with you on that.
Exactly.
Fellow Wisconsin man, Tyler, the GOAT bucket getting hero. What's your favorite thing about Miami you think the world should know about?
What's your favorite thing about
I like it. Wisconsin got gas.
What's your favorite thing about Miami? I don't know. I feel like I don't know, dog. Need some help.
The weather.
You know Miami.
You know, Tyler, you ain't getting this question. I'm getting UD. What's your favorite thing about Miami?
Yeah, you know it better than me.
What's my favorite thing about Miami? We barbecue on Christmas. The weather, the barbecue on Christmas. You can't do that nowhere else. The weather.
Right.
Where else in the world can you break out your grill and have your family over outside and barbecue on Christmas? Everywhere else, you shoveling snow, your ass freezing, shaking like a Chevy outside. You can't do that nowhere else in the world.
That's
you
true.
come down here in Miami, we barbecue on Christmas, baby. We get it on out here.
We just played in Toronto, Boston. It was like 25 degrees back to back. Then we come straight back down to Miami. It's 75.
Hell yeah. Listen, we bust out the grills on Christmas with the
in the
DJs
morning.
at the park. We getting it on. Kids get the gifts, all that. We doing it all.
Yeah.
We ain't got to worry about that. That's another thing. How the f- you play basketball in West Coast? You motherfuckers shovel snow half the year. You always had to play inside?
You seen the 11-year-old video of me where I was talking outside showing them my handles?
Nah, we got to make sure
There
when
was,
we show this, we
yeah.
got to pull that up. Oh, this is it?
Yeah. There was snow on the ground, bro. We hooping the snow.
Oh, y'all hooping the snow?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Shovel it.
Now, see, I'm going to be honest. That would have made me not play basketball. Yeah, that's the shit that would have not made me play basketball growing up. If I had to go out there in the snow and play.
Here we are.
That's why.
Hey,
Yeah.
here we are. Wisconsin.
Hey.
You haven't seen this?
Nah, I ain't see this.
It's grade 11U. Can't stop him. He's sliced out. He dribbles like Rajon
The
Rondo.
kid is a star already, bro. You're not even shy in front of the camera. You swagging.
I don't stop. I play all day. And 66. I don't miss. I don't miss.
Oh, yeah, you talk that shit, Kelel. He said, I don't miss.
I just play basketball now. Here we go, my recorder and the dry thing.
I told you this is my recorder right here.
Yo, this is crazy.
The ball is going to fall. Here we go.
Yo.
Oh,
Hey,
you see the snow outside?
That's
The snow is on the ground.
this right here says a lot. This right here explains a lot. This explains a lot. That's crazy. Getting to it in the snow.
Gotta show him my spider real quick.
hey, that was priceless.
Now it all makes sense. Now it all makes sense. I mean, he was confident. He was saying he didn't miss. He was 11 years old. The confidence was already there. He talked that shit already. Now it makes sense for sure.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to be, though. You're supposed to talk like that.
Fact.
I mean, I listen. Man, I ain't had the balls to talk like that when I was that young. I wasn't that good at basketball. Football was my first sport. I picked up basketball secondly. Then I quit football when I got hit in the knee. That was over with. So that was the only thing I ever quit in my life.
Football series.
But they folded me up out there,
kids
Herro.
ain't playing football.
They folded me up out there, Herro. Tough as I am, flip me, boom, flip me, yeah.
Especially down here in Miami.
Bro, I was
Florida
coming off the
football.
end. I was playing defense end. I was coming off the end. Dude hit me low and flipped my ass. Flipped OG.
Yeah.
OG quit after that. OG was like, yeah,
That
I'm
was
good. OG, I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Hey,
We got any more fan questions?
Did Dame Lillard ever give you your jersey?
Nah, I didn't get the Dame jersey. I might have to just
You
buy
didn't
me
get it?
one. I have to purchase one off
That's
the
easy.
fan store.
Man, they ain't gonna give you that jersey.
Well,
Dame
we
a cool-
talking
Dame
about-
Dame a real one. He gave you that jersey. Did he know you wanted a jersey? Was
don't
that a
think he know.
conversation or was
No,
it?
I ain't talked to him about it. When he got traded to the Bucks, that's when I was like, being from Milwaukee, I gotta give me a Dame jersey.
That's Dame love you. Fuck with you. Dame, all right, fuck, he fuck with you for real. Dame a real one too. That's easy. That's real easy.
Dame, next time we play the Bucks, I need that jersey, brother.
And it's just that easy, dog. He fuck with you. He a
There
real
you
one.
go.
It's just that easy, dog. He fuck with you. He a real one. He is a real one.
We got to put that on the calendar. Got to put that on the calendar. Get that jersey when we go to Milwaukee now.
I got one more question. Can I get
Go
one more?
for it, go.
Can I get one more question? What does legacy mean to you? What does Tyler Herro's legacy mean to you? What does that look like? And
Like as
10,
far as
10 years, say
like
you
what do
already
I
did-
want to accomplish?
Yes.
Like what would be good for me?
What would be the ideal career for Tyler Herro?
I really do want to bring a championship to Miami. I feel like I don't know if this is the right reason, but like obviously winning the championship, but I just can't imagine, bro, a parade down Biscayne, bro. That like I can see it, bro, and I just want to feel it. I know that would be crazy.
Oh, it's amazing.
So that for sure. Obviously, I won't even say a multiple. I just want to be an all-star at some point. Just want to get that experience. All-star, winning the championship, and then just giving back to the community. I feel like when I first came to Miami, I told one of my boys, I'm like, yo, we walking around, all I see is, I'm talking about from the wealthiest person in the city to the least wealthiest, they all got a D-Wade jersey. Like I need the same influence in this city as D-Wade. Obviously not as much because of how much he's done, and this is Wade County at the end of the day.
Somebody always set the standard, but somebody always come along and surpass it.
No, but
that could be you.
I used to walk around when I was 19, 20 in Miami. I'm like, bro, I want to make sure everyone in this city has a Herro jersey by the time it's done. So
that's love.
So like that's what I want.
That's love. That's
yeah.
love. Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I want to be the old that show up on ring night and however it was. I ain't gonna lie. I was a little jealous. I was a little jealous watching for the Celtics. I want to be the old motherfucker that show up on ring night. And
I want to see you in the finals sitting courtside talking shit on the
yes,
baseline.
I want to be that. I want to be that old.
ass.
That's the old I want to be, showing up to the games and like that in the finals and talk my shit.
Hell
Nothing
yeah.
for nothing, man. I just want it for y'all, bro. I have had my time. I've had my fun, but I want to see y'all hang that banner because I know how hard you work. I know what
for
y'all
real.
put into it, man. So
real.
I appreciate you for coming
Hey,
on,
Tyler,
dog.
before we get you out of here, though, because it's not in the locker room no more, UD, give him some OG advice on the way out, will you please?
I'm still in the locker room. You don't see Bam bust my lip today?
Yeah, hold up now.
I told you he spoke to us yesterday. That's why we beat the
Bam
Lakers like
bust my
that.
lip. Yeah, I spoke to him before Lakers. Bam bust my lip. I'm still in the locker room, man.
Come on, man.
Why did he bust your lip for?
I was practicing. He ain't just punch me in the mouth. Don't do that. I was practicing. Yeah, don't do that. He ain't just punch me in the mouth. I was practicing with him, and he hit me in my mouth accidentally in a drill.
Oh, it was accidental?
Yeah, it was accidental. Okay. Listen.
We'll go with that.
What's my OG advice for the day?
Yeah, what's your OG advice for the day?
OG advice for the day. Like Herro said, he was able to take a little bit from myself. He was able to take a little bit from Cal. He was able to take a little bit from Jimmy, Bam, and he was able to implement that in the things that he do today. So if you're around greatness, make sure you soak it up. Right. Make sure you take something from greatness. Make sure you learn something from greatness. Make sure you absorb something from greatness. You'll be a fool not to.
And try to surround yourself with greatness.
Beautiful.
That's
Love that.
right.
Love that.
That's
Coming
right.
from a young man. Coming from a young man.
And before we leave, we do got to show Lil Flowers to turn the OG into a club. Christian, run that track for me real quick, will you please?
What we got going on? Y'all got some more for me? Y'all better not be messing with me again.
No,
you get three joke maximum. You done already fired off two.
No, this is for him because this is dope. Go ahead.
Oh,
Christian playing it? Turn that shit up. I got to hear it.
I got my cup of mud.
Got my cup of mud.
Cup of mud.
Got my cup of mud. I already know. I already know what we going with. Hey, Herro, we got. We all three of us got our name in the song. Me, you, and Mike. You know what I'm saying? That's when you made it. So listen.
Drugs, money.
Drewski is fascinating to me.
Boy, he is hilarious.
What he's been able to do. That is crazy.
Yeah,
nothing but respect.
Drewski, hilarious.
Cut it. So me, you, and Mike all got our name. Me and you and Mike all got our name in songs.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Mike got his name in a song. I got my name in a couple. As an athlete, now this is the last thing. As an athlete, we have so much success on the basketball court. 25,000 people yelling our name in arenas. We on TV. But how does it feel when you hear your name in a rap song? That's the different. That's a little vibe, right?
It's different.
That hit different as an athlete,
I can have it could be a nobody rapper. As long as he says my name in the rap song, it's different. I don't even need to know who it is. Like I just gotta hear my name.
That's getting played the next day in the whip. You don't know who it is.
I got one I just downloaded.
The next day in the whip.
Person, I'm like, yeah, this is hard.
Yeah.
Speaking of championship rosters, who you like in the West and the East right now? Out of curiosity, because you're always tuned into it.
The East, I still like Boston, but I think New York, healthy and right, could be a formidable opponent. Mm-hmm. I always had Miami as a dark horse.
Cleveland, no.
I honestly think Cleveland's more regular season. I always had Miami as a dark horse, but there's a lot going on right now, so I'm gonna just keep them to the side for a minute. But I think New York's the biggest threat to Boston with the way they shoot it and their spacing, and they've mastered. And I've watched them close now. They've mastered. They're not caught up in egos. Cap's like, oh, okay, I'll be the man tonight. Brunson, you be the man. They don't care. And their team is built like that. Yes. And you know how it is. Most of the time, it's egos where, no, I'm the top dog, and it's got to be like that every night. They'll float between Batman and Superman. They don't care. Yes. Tonight you get 40, tomorrow I'll get 40. And let's just keep rolling. And they got players around them. And they're still missing Mitchell Robinson, who's a rim protector. So I like them, right, as a threat to Boston if there is one. In the West, I'm messed up. I ain't going to lie to you because I thought when Phoenix was healthy before KD got hurt the first time, I'm like, ooh, they may break through. I thought the Olympics put him and Booker back on the same page. I thought they was going to be playing, and then injuries happened. So the West, I'm going to need y'all's help on the West. I don't know.
I'm going OKC.
You know what?
I
might ride with you. I might ride with you on that.
I'm just telling you.
I like the dog pound down here in Memphis.
Yeah, you do.
Listen, let me tell you something.
I might ride with OKC though. Why, UD? Why?
Because I'm a big Hartenstein fan. He is. I'm telling you,
that's a hot take.
That check his stats. You ain't got to run there and play for him. And at the end of the game, the have 16 points, 14 rebounds, 2-3 blocks, 6 assists, and he only played like 25, 30 minutes. And this is with Chet out. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't missed a beat. They still have the #1 record in the West. I'm telling you, when you watch what the Knicks are missing, Mitchell Robinson is going to help their rim protection, but in the playoffs, they're going to miss Hartenstein.
Oh, yeah, they will.
They're going to miss Hartenstein. He tough. He got toughness. He got all that.
I think OKC brought like a college style togetherness to the pros.
Yes.
Like how they built the team, how they play, and they got a real dog leading them. Like SGA is for real.
Real dog. Quiet, real dog. Because we talk about dogs like Ant Edwards, and he like, nah, dog, he didn't MVP. When people like that say shit like that about you, you already know what time it is. Yeah. So I think, and they young enough, and they almost oblivious enough where the moment's not too big. Exactly. Whatever. It is what it is. I call it Go ahead, Killer.
No, I think listen, SGA is who he is. We ain't got to talk about that. That's a dog. The question is, and I think Jalen Williams is freaking the man. I think he's really good. Is he going to be that second fiddle throughout the whole playoffs?
There's
levels to that playoff.
Hell yeah.
I know he's really good. Yeah. I know he's really good, man. But he hasn't been. He had a little experience last year. Like we talk about it all the time, bro. SGA is going to win you a couple games in each playoff series. That's how good he is. Your other guy's going to have to do that same thing. And the role players win one game. And I think they have enough. Their depth is elite. They're really, really good. Defensively, with Caruso and Lou, like they're freaking defensively. And when Chet comes back defensively, they're going to be elite. But there's something there, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting. Again, they're probably the favorites. I would say they're the favorites.
Mike, let me add one more thing to that. And I covered the playoffs last year, and we had a bunch of different teams. They have another star there, too. And his name is Mark Daigneault. He was as impressive as any coach we talked to.
Florida Gator.
Yes, he is.
He was so impressive. And I think the way he manages a game, the way he manipulates the game as well, he's seeing stuff out there in a whole different spectrum. Almost like Spo. He got some Spo with him. You know what I mean? Like he's like a star over there. So I got to give him his props. He was as impressive as any coach we talked to last year.
And we talked about it. We talked about offensively, and we talked about the coaching staff. But they got two guys, and Caruso and shout out my dog, the Haitian sensation, Lou Dort. Sapase. They got two guys that can defensively lock in and make your series hell for 7 games. Mind you, while SGA is still over there quietly, I call him sensei. He's a sensei master. He quietly slicing your ass up. Quietly. And he ain't sweating, and he got 35 and 10 at the end of the game. They got it, bro. I'm trying to tell you, they got it.
I can't hardly argue it. I'm with you. I think it's just seeing that next step. Like, everyone wants to see that next step. And it might be this year.
And they got that brotherhood and that connection you talked about, Jamal. That brotherhood and that connection, when the series get tough and it's 3-3, the most connected locker room is what's going to win Game 7.
And they're going to have home court. We know how tough it is playing OKC. And y'all know I had a bag.
You had a Birkin, boy. You had a Birkin.
Even Lou Dort, I looked at like, ooh, I got to figure him out. Because he's strong. He can move. He takes that challenge.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
No, I didn't say I wouldn't have figured it out. I just said it took me some time. I'd have figured it out.
You had a Birkin, boy. You had a Birkin.
Him and Caruso defensively are elite, but you can figure that out for sure. That's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a fun playoffs.
I'm looking forward to it. Now that we're talking about playoffs and basketball and you working games, some interesting things coming for you in the future. So we're going to be looking for that, brother. Congrats on that.
Yeah, man.
Some interesting things.
About the future for me. Yeah, I'm excited about the future. It's crazy because after I stopped playing officially, I threw myself into coaching kids, starting with the 6th graders. And then from there, like I went on TV, hey, feeling for Chuck. I'm like, all right. Like I still didn't think that was my future. And then it started with studio, as y'all know, and then it's graduated to games. So I want to own this space. Like you said, you took it as a challenge when they were doing that with you late in your career. I'm taking this as a challenge. And calling games, I feel like I can kind of make my own way. And I've had some great mentors and great people to work with. Kevin Harlan and Mike Breen, these is GOATs, Reggie Miller. Yes. So for me, I'm learning so much, and I want to be as good as I was on the court in that space. So I'm excited about the future for sure.
Dope.
I mean, I had a chance to work with you, bro, and obviously,
we had a ball.
You dropped some gems on me being on that side, man.
You dropped it on me too. Hey, you know what, Mike? When it was me and him, I feel like it was Nas and Jay. He say something, I look, okay, he got me on that one. He come back. We was going back and forth with it. It was also Ross. We was doing our thing. It was dope, but it kept everything light. It kept everything dope. It kept everything sharp. That's my guy.
And you made me comfortable, bro. I would have told you that because being on a set with another player, as opposed to, like you said, guys like Tom Green, just all these guys that didn't play, but in a great respect for what they do as analysis and announcers, but sitting next to another player, you know what I'm saying, somebody that speaks the same language as you, it just made me more comfortable, bro. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on that next level.
And
dog.
you are a rising star, as we all know. Like UD, I love when UD is coming on any platform I'm watching, because I know he's gonna drop something. It's gonna be something that connects everybody, but it's also gonna connect culture. And I love that because it's somebody that's representing all of us up there, and he's making sense. He's speaking the truth, and he did it at the highest level. So we always love when you're on there. We got to show love.
Appreciate you, dog.
Definitely.
Everybody can't be an agent like you, Mike. We got to go out here and work.
Yeah, we can't do that, Mike.
Yeah, we got to go out here. We got to go out here and work for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you can't just sit at home.
I feel so bad
Mike, what's been the biggest surprise with doing it? Being a former player, like what surprised you the most?
I think just understanding the process of what goes into like teams making their decisions. You know what I mean? Like as a player, you looked at the front office completely different as you do as an agent, right? As a player, it looked like they know exactly what's going on, and what you realize is that stuff's last minute for them too, and they're not planning a lot of things, and they got to work and react, and they see the game obviously a little bit different than players do, so that's been a little bit of a challenge. Is like sometimes you wonder if you're watching the same game you're watching, but
it's them athletics. Athletics. They use the athletics for everything. I was like, man, that shit ain't basketball, man. Athletics, man. That ain't basketball.
They're definitely into the analytics a lot. You know what I mean? And so, like, we're in the old school part. Like, to me, analytics should confirm what our eyes see. Some of them kind of flip it around. Like, they solely base it on analytics, which, again, there's no right or wrong answer, but that's been a challenge. And then just understanding, like young kids coming through it, like the awareness of them still. We talk about it, right? I think they need people like us in their corner. I think they really, really need it. You said it earlier, we have the cheat code. We've seen it. We're not going to be 100% right, but we can almost tell you exactly how it's going to play out if you live by this code.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
And that's really where I think I've thrived in this business is like just being real with these dudes, right? Yeah. Like don't tell them what they don't want to hear. Tell them what they need to hear. So it's been fun.
That's true.
Give us your first impressions. Obviously, draft night and all the stuff that went on going into draft night. What was your anxieties like? Where were you at? And obviously ended up with Miami. How great was that?
I mean, just ending up with Miami is great, though. But I didn't know. I knew I was going to get drafted in the first round, but I didn't know, like to where. Miami, they was
back and forth on it.
Yeah, not even back and forth, but they didn't want to
Commit.
fully.
Oh yeah, listen. We gonna keep everything close to the vest. We gonna keep everything close to the vest right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was. I didn't really know where I was gonna go. Like I could have went anywhere in the first round. So. Yeah, it was definitely, a fun experience for me, though.
It's a hell of an experience for everybody, family and everybody. It's a lot of work. A lot of work they put into it.
Hell of an experience for everybody but me, but we ain't going to talk about that.
No. He had a long day.
Hold on. Hey, let me get my shades, Sonny. Let me get my shades.
You know why? Here's what he's going to do. He's going to put them on and then take them off and then cut somebody out.
Let me get my shades.
That's what he do.
Because I got to say something. All you at home. All you at home.
Hey, see, you're going to miss us in the locker room. This dude, that's all he does.
No, he gonna see me in the locker room.
Yeah, I know.
Hey.
All right, hold up. Put them on, I'll take them off. Yeah, you're going to take them off, yeah.
All you at home that didn't draft me. 3-time champ, lead rebounder in the organization of the Miami Heat. Missed out.
Yo.
You missed out.
Uh-huh.
It's okay.
Yep.
That's what you get for hiring your nephew that never played. Now let's go. We can start back.
So talked about it now. So now you get drafted 15s. You show up there. You get right into practice. What's that been like? Because that transition's like this, man. Like it goes fast. You go from college to workouts to getting drafted, and now you're in the mix. So
yeah, no. Right after I got drafted, I had a flight at 6 a.m.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
where were you? Where
New York.
Yeah,
he was in the city.
Yeah, it was in New York.
Oh, my bad.
No, not now. Where were you after you got drafted to that flight? That's what I want to know. Wait. When you got drafted that night,
yeah.
Come on, young fella. How was the night?
No, it was bro. Look, I ain't do nothing. I went back after the draft. I ate pizza and went to sleep.
See, I need to know how he rolled. That was a trick question. I didn't know how he rolled.
I'm trying to bait you.
Good answer.
See, he's
good
trying
answer.
to bait you.
Good answer.
Here's
Good answer.
you got to understand now. He's up in that kind of that front office area now.
Yeah.
He's trying to bait you a little bit, coach.
No. I just want him to trust you. That's all. You can always tell me the truth, young fella. You always tell me the truth.
Yeah, I ain't doing much. I just ate pizza and went to sleep. It was already a late night. Had to go through all the little media stuff. So
okay.
Yeah, you probably went out of there till midnight. You probably didn't get out of the arena till about midnight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It was
and you had a 6 a.m. flight.
Yeah.
You signed that deal though, didn't you?
Yeah, signed it. Yeah.
Got all that cheese, UD.
So did you work out with us?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think Miami was my 6th or 7th workout.
Talk about the workout because Heat workouts are legendary. You know what I'm saying? We ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't. Some people have broken. Some people have broken in Heat workouts. You know what I'm saying? How was that? Like, did you hear it? Did you hear the rumors about coming to work out with the Heat and the demanding and all that stuff and how you got to be in shape?
I definitely heard the rumors about it, but it wasn't. We didn't do much running though.
Okay.
Yeah, but we did like the skills and stuff that we was doing. You definitely had to be in shape to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was able to do the drill. So
you was in shape.
Yeah, I was in shape.
Good,
so,
good.
Who you most excited now that you're in the league to play against?
Man, really anybody in my position.
I'll tell you who. Bam. Every day.
He gonna see
iron
him.
sharpens iron.
Me and Bam play ones. I think my first workout there.
Iron sharpens iron. That's what I like to hear. And that's how we do. And guess what? Keep your wins. And if you win, let his ass know about it. If you win, let him know about it. Because he going to let you know.
How'd the ones go?
No, it was good. We played 4 spots. I won 1. He won 3.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be 2-2, but I jumped on a pump fake. So yeah. I lost that way.
Did he tell you that? See, now this is the culture, because that all originated with me and Bam, but it all started with me and D Wade, me and Bron, me and Joe Johnson. We all get out there and play spots. This is the culture. So iron has sharpened iron, and me and Bam did. And I don't know if Bam gonna tell you the truth, but last time we played, it ain't go exactly how he thought it was gonna go. Now I ain't gonna say I won every spot, but I won more spots than Bam probably thought I was gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, but just let you know right there. And young fella, listen, I got about 4 or 5 moves. Give him time like Novocaine there at work. So at the first couple times we play, I might win a couple. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I give you about too much, you're going to catch on to my it ain't going to work no more. So,
yeah, that's all it is.
I'm only going to play you like 2 times. Like, I'm only going to play like 2 times, and I ain't going to never play you again.
When you talk about toughness, and that's something I want to tap in, with you on, because obviously coming into the NBA as a teenager, you know what I'm saying? The things you struggle with is the physicality part of it, the professionalism part of it.
Right.
Now, 6 years later, I see a different Tyler Herro. I see a more obviously tapped in mentally, physically, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your growth in that area. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that your growth on the basketball court is a translation of the growth that you've had off the basketball court.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just obviously creating a schedule for yourself, hitting the ground running, making this a lifestyle, being a father, you know what I'm saying, just having other different things to tap into. So just talk about your growth off the basketball court and how that's helped you on the court.
Yeah, I mean, well, everyone knows I got two little ones that push me every single day to be a better person, a better father. Yes. So that I give my credit to those two. They don't even know it yet, but those two for sure. And then just being through so much, like I said, I've been through a lot of my 6 years already, and my career obviously personally hasn't been exactly how I wanted it to. I wanted obviously some more things to happen, and I felt like last year in the playoffs I wasn't fully ready for the task at hand, which was, playing the 1 seed who obviously won the championship.
You weren't healthy.
Right.
Came back off injury. Let's say what it is now. Yeah, you wasn't healthy. You came back off of injury. That's a hell of a situation to jump into coming off of injury.
Yeah, but like I said, just going through all of that, and then this summer having a lot of downtime just to reflect mentally on myself and just wanting to be a better person. I think coming into the year, I always try to be better than I was last year. So that's the biggest thing, is just continuing to try to get better every single year. And this isn't my final form. I feel like
you got so much more to do. So
Exactly.
much more to do, so much more to grow,
It's just
bro.
the beginning. You're a young pup
I love to
still.
hear that shit, bro. Yeah, you got so much more to do and so much time to grow and work and just continue to do the things you're doing, dog.
Right.
For sure. I remember when this first came to Florida. Him?
What I do?
All he did was get in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, that's all he did was spend we was going to the club, he was going to the gym.
Yeah.
He was going to the gym. He had it. He was a real gym rat.
Right.
You remember we talk about having fake gym rats?
Nah, facts.
He was the first person that I saw that was a real gym rat, and I see that in you.
Really about his work.
Yeah, you really about your work, bro. I mean, some of them workouts, when I pulled up on you at 7 a.m., and you hitting the weights, and then you've been shooting at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and all that shit like that. Like, that was like
We've all had teammates that they go to the gym, take the picture that they in the gym,
yeah,
and walk back out the gym.
Exactly. Fake gym rat. You know who you are. You know who you are.
We don't got to say who you are. You know who you are.
I had to do that though. I wasn't as talented as you guys.
Killer, you lived in the gym. Killer, you lived in the gym.
That's how you do it, though.
And you was ahead of the game with that one. You was ahead of the game with that one for sure. But it wasn't shit to do in South Dakota or Milwaukee, where y'all from. So I would have to say y'all ain't have much of a choice.
Mike, where's your sons? Don't they in college now? Or they play a little bit?
Yeah. So my oldest just got done beating up Kansas yesterday. No, this week he's at Creighton. He's a junior at Creighton, and then my youngest boy is at High Point in North Carolina. Yeah.
Listen.
I follow them boys on Instagram a little bit, show them some love.
Yeah,
he's being humble right now too. We're gonna tap into his ass. He's being humble about his growth process. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't been. He talk about it and he's so cool and calm and like it's been easy, but it has not been an easy process for Herro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, UD, make sure you let him understand. Like here at the OGs, humility is not what we're looking for.
Yeah, listen, he being humble right now, bro. But like he's had to deal with a lot. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, what people are seeing right now is like the resilience. You know what I'm saying? He's been scarred. He's been battle tested now. You know what I'm saying? And he's figured it out. You know what I'm saying? So like, but having to be able to 6th man of the year, you know what I'm saying? That was not good enough for certain people. Not being able to win in the finals, getting hurt, these different things, for whatever the reason, have not been good enough for certain people. Mm-hmm. What I always wanted to remind to him, and like I said to him, I've said this before, what he's accomplished in his 6 years, people don't do in their careers. But it has not been easy. Right. It has not been easy. We've had a lot of moving parts. When you come into an organization where winning is the only option and there's no in-between, like Ryle say, it's either winning or misery. There is no in-between. So when you come into a situation like that, you can often be in positions where it might not be your fault all the time. But if the team is not winning collectively, then you have to sacrifice as an individual. Right. And I've been in that situation. He's been in that situation. But that's not always the easiest thing to do. Right. When you're a young, ambitious basketball player.
And I think, too, like when you coming into the league, like a lot of guys, especially young guys, especially today, all dudes are thinking about, let's come into the league. I want to get drafted. I want to just score, put up 20, 25, 30, whatever it is. And like you said, being drafted to the Heat, a winning culture, a winning program where they want winning so much that you, as a young guy, they're not bringing you in to just score. We want to develop you. We want to make sure you're doing all the little things so we can put you in a position in 4 or 5 years where we can trust you and continue to grow that way.
I watched him play pick and roll for 30 minutes, guarding on defense, getting over the screen, getting back in front of the ball, getting around the screen, getting under. I watched him have to guard a cross screen and play post line defense for 30 minutes straight, just beating the shit out of him in practice. And him coming back every day and not stopping and getting better and better and better. I watched that process. Some people can't do it. It's not easy. You're going to find out a lot about yourself.
Man, they always say white boys can't guard nobody. Right. Now, that was definitely the case with me. I didn't guard them. But it does make it hard, like doing that, because defensively in the NBA is a challenge because of some of those things, for sure. But just keep working. Pieces in the work, man.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Was it ever discouraging? Was it ever discouraging? Just every day just coming in, and I know because I was there. Putting your ass in them pick and rolls and putting your ass in the post lines.
I wouldn't say the work was discouraging, but I think when you put so much work in, you want the results right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what's happening? Why aren't I doing this, that, or that? And as a young guy, you sometimes can get caught up in that, and that's where I grew. Is like, I'm not really worried about where, like, the results are the results, and if you're putting the work in, you can rely on the work. You're living good. You're doing everything by the books, doing everything the right way. Like, just live with the results.
Love that. I just had to be honest. He was being a little humble, but he been through the grinder to get to where he is. He been through the grinder for sure.
We've been working for sure now.
Hey, let me ask you something. I just pulled up something here, and I want to make sure I'm right. Making music with Kendrick Nunn. What
you and K Nunn made music? Baby Ghost made music? I missed that. I ain't get invited to that.
Where'd you pull that up at?
Coach, I'm antennas out now, Coach.
Wait a minute.
I got people. I got the ears to the streets now.
Those was the Baby Goats we had back in the day. We had the Baby Goats. Him and K Nunn was the Baby Goats. But I didn't know they made a goddamn music video.
No, we didn't make a music video.
I was rapping and tapping.
Yeah, we was rapping a little bit. K Nunn had me. He had me rapping in the studio a little bit my rookie year.
That's crazy.
For real?
And I ain't get to pull up. Y'all ain't have Big OG up in there? Y'all have Big OG up in there with the ad-libs? Hey.
Hey. Funny as hell. That's hilarious.
Hey, listen. And don't think I forgot, too. Y'all want to show the lob I didn't catch. Make sure y'all put the one up I did, too. All you back there that like to pull up clips randomly and crack jokes.
Let's put up that live. Let's put up that live again.
Yeah, everybody like to pull up the clips and crack jokes. Make sure you put the good one up there too, not the one that just entertains you. Put the one up there that entertains me.
Hey, show the good one. Definitely show the good one, but show the other one again too. That was
damn, Kelel. Why you in? Okay, then show Mike and his badass back his last game too. That's what we're gonna do. We got 15 minutes to wait for him to get down the court.
He still hit like 6 threes.
Hey,
he did hit 6 threes
with his shoe off.
We'll be in season 3 of the podcast by the time you see my 15
go.
minutes. Talk about first starting covering the Miami Heat. What just the transitions of all the stuff, all Miami. Because you've seen it from the beginning.
Yeah, so and it's crazy. Before Pat Riley, there was 1988. Miami doesn't have any major sports, really. It's the Dolphins and nothing else, and they're going to teach us about sports. They're going to help make us major league. It's before the Panthers are here. They get here before baseball. Basketball is going to try and take over a football town. They go through Ron Rothstein and Kevin Lockery, and once Pat Riley gets here with Mickey Arison, people think it was the big time. It was not the big time. They were practicing like adjacent to a hospital in like this.
Yes.
Like Pat Riley went from the top of basketball Showtime New York to coming to Miami, and they dressed it up as something that was fancy, but it was the NBA in a spring break town. Like it was beneath, it was as if Pat Riley
were they practicing at LaSalle?
No, this is before LaSalle.
Before LaSalle?
Before LaSalle, off the Palmetto, they were adjacent to a hospital. LaSalle was the upgrade.
Oh,
yes, a high school gym was the upgrade.
LaSalle was a high school gym, by the way.
So to see it grow from there, right? So you're hiring all the pizzazz of whatever Pat Riley is, and he brought the credibility, and then he built something that actually mattered. But where it started, it was minor league. Like it was the very beginnings of Heat basketball were them trying hard, but not really knowing what they were doing. And then when, and you know how the organizations run, when the Arisons and Riley and all of them get together to build everything that the architecture of the place has been built around, they achieved everything that they achieved from like with I'm going to say family values, yes. Right? Like
yes.
Because your building is amazing to me, okay? I think it's like a military complex for millionaires. Like it's a military school. It feels part science lab, humans as test pigeons for how far can we push the human body on pain and excellence. Do I have anything wrong here? No?
That's about right.
Sounds pretty accurate.
It ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody.
No.
Sounds pretty accurate.
You'll find out a lot about yourself in that building.
Look, the first word in culture is cult. Okay? Like
that's a good one. That's a good one.
No, it is.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
No, so look, so you guys, people think playing a game for money, that must be fun. You guys were in a military environment where you had to be more disciplined than other people from Serbia and the inner cities competing for money. You had to be more disciplined than them. Better shape, tougher than them. That was honed in the furnace of whatever Pat Riley built around the glowing nuclear epicenter that building has been in this city, and for this for the regional pride of this city as basketball ripped the town away from football. The Dolphins, the undefeated Dolphins, Shula's Expressway, Shula's Steakhouse, ripped the city from the Dolphins because you guys built this orb of glowing nuclear excellence that you guys were thrown in the maw of the furnace, fed your feet and your knees and your elbows and fed to the machine so that it could like feed everybody. It's pretty cool.
I love the way you broke that down. Nobody's ever broken it down like that. I wish I could explain it like that. Damn.
That was elite right there.
Well, but here, so because I admire you guys so much because I don't really believe that people see the sacrifices you made. Man, Mike Miller was walking with a bad back out of the womb. I don't think of him. I think of him as not a graceful athlete in Florida at the University of Florida. I think of him as somebody who has had a bad back since college, like always walking like it, because I imagine he's always in physical pain and overcame it and beat other people all the time to win championships while taking less money. While this guy takes less money, doesn't go to Denver because his mom is on her deathbed, and Pat Riley and the organization is drives to his mom's funeral because they're there for him, because he connects with the organization from a place that, Mom, I'm taking many fewer millions. Do I have any of this wrong?
Not
to
yet.
stay in Miami, and it's the last time he sees his mother smile, correct?
Yes. That's true.
Damn.
That's true.
I really admire
You do your damn homework, Dan.
No
I'll tell you
doubt.
that. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
show up to a
Buddy, I've
test
been-
unprepared, do you?
I've been covering you guys for a long time and admiring what you do, and disappointed that the sports media doesn't do a better job of just celebrating all that is, so that the media can have relationships with you guys that are not contentious and that are just more humanizing.
I'm happy you brought that up, because we talk about sports media now. We talk about having relationships with players, but now sports media is at a place where you can get it straight from the player and the source, and you don't have to have a relationship with the players. Do you think that's healthy? You think it's better that way? Did you see this coming?
I would say that it's obviously threatening, right? Because the media has had a very safe space. ESPN did a fascinating, interesting, smart thing. They took the credibility of newspapers for 15 years, made themselves a journalism outfit when they don't have to, and put a bunch of TV people, journalism people, on television, and gave a lot of these good jobs to journalists.
Yes.
Now the athletes are coming for those jobs, the
Yes.
Pat McAfees, the Shannon Sharps. I am in the vanity business. The vanity business tends to be pretty insecure. We're not as tough as you guys are about competition. So that stuff could be seen as threatening from every angle. But I both welcome that fight and love the democracy of that process. I want you guys to get the audience that you crave and deserve, because you know how to get audience, being the things that you are about. And I'm profoundly grateful that I get to make a living doing some of this stuff this way in this city, because I just can't believe that all of this exists for us
Yes.
in
Crazy.
the media space, that it's all, that the entire media business is crumbling and shaking. Streaming services, Hollywood, Disney, all of it is under pressure and duress. And we're able to do something, me independently and you guys, that is fun and different. And by making it threatening to us, you can change the way we do business, because you force us to be better, because now there's a threat in the environment.
You talk about the change. So talk about metal art. What was the idea of all this? And you know, like you said, you talk about the change. So I'd like to hear about how you.
It's one thing to be a boss, and it's another thing to be a worker.
Exactly.
But it takes courage to, like you say, you have 50 people that you employ. It takes courage to take that next step. Talk about, like you said, just talk about that courage.
So I wish it were courage, or I defined it as courage, because I'd be kinder to myself, and because I think of courage as not the absence of fear, but being able to overcome fear. I wasn't fearful. I was pushed into a position that I wasn't expecting, because ESPN let go of my mentor's son, who worked on the show, without telling me, and it was a disrespect I couldn't abide. And so I left the ESPN, but I didn't think of it as courageous. I just thought of it as sort of duty bound. Like,
Yes.
if you're going to rent my father's accent because you underserved the Hispanic demographic and need a Latin television show, you're not going to think that you also own my voice when you rent his accent. And so I had to leave. And so I don't know if you guys have ever had principled fights that you don't think of as brave just because you just have to do
We
something.
call that standing on business.
You said it so much better than me.
We call that standing on business,
I
Dan.
used so many words to say
We
something.
call that standing on business.
I wish I said it that
That's
way.
what you did.
Yeah.
You stood on business.
Yeah.
For
So,
sure.
but so you asked me, I'm not a business person. I don't, this is now scary because I have the responsibility of people I care about. But that's also the beautiful part, right? Like, it can be the responsibility, or I've built a media company in Miami that exists even as media companies shake, and they know that we've got a solid thing. And our listeners also know. See, this is what I'd like for you guys to build, where they really see the treasure of who it is you are and what your relationship is. Our listeners and our audience went with us, at least in part because they knew that we were the show that if you let go of one of us, we're all going. And when you connect with your entertainment vehicle from there, in this streaming environment, right? We got an army that'll follow us anywhere for 3 hours a day because they're like, no, I ride with these anywhere.
That's because you stand on business.
It is a high honor to get that from you guys. I cannot tell you how ridiculous I feel getting that flattery from you two people.
It's true.
Thank you. You don't know how much that honors me. I feel like I'm living in a cartoon right now.
I mean, oftentimes we see people in a situation, bro, and when it comes to money, people sell the things they values and things go out the window. So I got to commend you for that, bro, because that's not the norm anymore these days. You know what I'm saying? The morals, you know, having compassion for people in certain situations and all those different things, nobody takes that into consideration anymore. You know, I'm gonna follow the money. Where the money lead me? You know what I'm saying? I don't care about this. I don't care about that. And a lot of times we throw our morals and the way we was raised out of the window when it comes to money. So I commend you for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you think it was courageous, but I think it was.
I thank you for that. I just didn't, there wasn't a choice. It didn't feel like it was a choice to conquer my fears. It just sort of felt like you have to take care of your own. I would imagine, based on what I've seen of you two playing together, going through the fire together, and doing this together, I would imagine that this man is a brother to you. He is not, it's not family in some sort of way that everyone says family, and not even like other teammates.
Yes.
Not even like that this is a level of brotherhood that will be forever.
For sure.
We almost named the show Ebony and Ivory. No.
We did.
That was one of the top. That was one of the names. We was like, they gonna think we soft. We probably don't want to start with that. But we almost used that. We almost used that.
Is slightly less soft than Ebony and Ivory. Yeah. I was going to actually ask you guys what was the second name choice before you settled on
Ebony and Ivory.
Our wives was really pushing for that shit. Our wives was pushing that shit hard, man. I mean, my wife don't even talk to me in the morning, and she was slipping that shit in. I was like, yeah, okay, now we friends because you want something. Now, and we touched on some of this earlier. You know, all the things you accomplished so early in your career. You mentioned it the other day. You said you're just 6 years in. Mm-hmm. And to me, I had to like wrap my mind around that because it seems like so much more than 6 years. I mean, we're talking about 6 Man of the Year. You've been to the finals twice. You've been to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, you've accomplished a lot in just 6 years. Like, how was that ride? How was that roller coaster, up and downs and all that stuff?
It's
because people don't give you, I don't think you don't get the credit you deserve. The things you accomplish in 6 years don't even accomplish in their whole career. I think I've said this to you, and I've said this to people publicly. Yeah. What you've accomplished in 6 years, people don't even get done in their whole career.
Right. No, I mean, it's been a lot, you know, just ups and downs. As you've seen, you know, you've been here right next to my side the whole way. So, you know, just seeing, like, from where I was in the bubble, everyone being so high on me to, you know, different, you know, things happening throughout my first 6 years. But I think it's been a good 6 years for me to just sit back and kind of just, you know, learn, take the highs, take the lows. And this past summer, I kind of just was able to just look at it from like a bird's eye view and take the good things and the bad things and kind of just make my own like little equation and, you know, come up with like a perfect medium of where I want to be at in my head, and then kind of be able to just take that maturation and do it on the court, off the court, and kind of just live with the results no matter what they are. So. That's kind of what
I think UD said, man, like, don't take that for granted. The stuff you've been able to accomplish in 6 years, most of us are hunting that stuff down, you know what I mean? And, and I think that's impressive what you've been able to accomplish in 6 years, and it goes fast, so enjoy it. But I want to go back to some of the stuff UD, because UD is my road dog for life, man, and him being in that locker room. Talk about some of the that he helped you with coming in, because he helped me a ton.
Hell yeah!
In Florida, kept me safe for about 18 months till I left.
Still keeping you safe, Killer. I wish it would.
That's right.
I remember when I first came down here, OG was the first one to text me, told me come link up with him. You know, we kicked it at a little spot. It was like you said, he's able to keep me safe down here in Miami.
I try to take this in the hood. I just say, ain't nobody we gonna be fine. Ain't nobody gonna recognize them. Man, we in the 5-10 minutes, tweet. Tyler Herro, Herro, you gotta go. You gotta go. I thought nobody wasn't gonna recognize you. I thought nobody wasn't gonna say nothing.
Facts.
Everybody knows you.
It was 5 minutes. I'm like, yo, OG, look at this. I gotta go. He like, yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm like, you gotta go. Like when I'm in here, they don't tweet. They don't bother me.
That's because that's home for you though. That's the difference.
But, you know, anytime.
Where'd you take him? Where'd you take him?
Oh, it was a little restaurant.
Right. Next question.
Yeah, a little spot off in the cut. You feel me?
No, but
yeah, next question. I get it.
But like you said though, him being in the locker room, just having that voice in the locker room for me, for my first 4 or 5 years, and we've had like I said, highs and lows, but just having OG there, you know, we obviously greatly appreciate OG keeping us all in.
A legend.
What? Man, they do.
You're a legend.
They make it easy for me, bro, and they kept me going. I tell people like the performance that I had my last game, it was because of them. Every day working out with them, playing ones, guarding Herro on pick and rolls, playing defense against Bam. You know, all these things, man. It was one day like Spo told me just guard Herro and just be physical and bang him up and shoot around. It's like I'm chasing this. I'm sweating. He giving me all the work, breaking my ankles, me up. You know what I'm saying? Give me all that.
And you don't have to do that, though. Like, as an OG, man, you won 3 championships. You've been in Miami for 20 years, man. You could be at home chilling. And to see you come in every single day or whenever you get the chance, you know, that's just
he putting that on me. You know, people on the side like, ooh.
He hates that shit when people on the sidelines start the peanut
gallery. Oh, you know I was mad as
a he hates that.
I ain't have time to focus on them right now, but I hate it. You're right. Absolutely right. But I say that to say this, bro. Like, for me, like, they make it easy for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's not hard. It's not hard to want the best for them. It's not hard to tap in and do whatever they need me to do to help them be their best version. They make it easy. It's nothing.
Hey, Tyler, let's give him some flowers, though. How crazy was that last game of his career? That was bananas. Bro, he gets mad when I say it. Like,
bro, he was cooking, though. He hit the 3.
Yeah, no.
The trail jab 3. With the lob, caught the lob from Duncan.
I needed that.
He gets so mad at me when I said, "God damn, I can't believe it." He's like, "You seen it?" I know, but I ain't seen it. You dusted this shit off. That was impressive.
Hey, listen, I wanted to pull up the Tyler Herro lob and then pull up the Duncan Robinson lob. Don't pull that.
Let's set you up, bro.
We both agreed. Me and Herro both agreed after the game that wasn't a lob.
Facts.
That was just a pass that was high.
Yeah, I set you up, bro. That was on me.
Pull that up,
no, man, pull it up. It's all good. We had a good time, bro. Hey, listen, that was on me, man. I didn't warm up like I was supposed to that game. That's what that was.
And Spo threw you in the fire.
Threw me in the fire early. I wasn't warm. I wasn't ready.
There it is.
Hey, so growing up, Tyler, who'd you watch basketball wise? Who was your guys that you watched?
Who did I ain't gonna lie. I was a big fan of the Heat, like your guys' team that you guys put together. But like I was a LeBron fan, big LeBron fan. I'm not gonna lie.
Here we go right here.
I was one of LeBron's biggest fans.
Here we go right here.
Oh.
Hey, listen, killer. I was trying not to fall out of bounds. And I was trying.
See, Kyle didn't help you though. He's supposed to drift to the corner, and that wouldn't have been a bad
I didn't
pass.
have nobody to pass to. There was no outlet. I didn't have an outlet, man. So I went down on my sword.
Kyle was supposed to drift to that corner.
Yeah. I went down on my sword, man. So you said that you was a huge Bron fan. You watched us, but there's a picture of you that you had as a kid, right, with that Heat jersey on.
Yeah.
Like, what was that all about? That was just a cool jersey?
I mean, bro, I'm telling you, I was a Miami Heat fan. Like, I had...
When Bron came or prior to that?
Prior to that, and then when Bron came, it just stamped it because I was already a LeBron fan. But like I used to have an Antoine Walker jersey. I was like,
really?
Antoine Walker
Shout out
jersey.
Twan.
And
Twan.
Yeah, my parents, like I had my own room. I had an all white wall. My parents had a painter come through. They painted the whole wall Miami Heat logo.
Damn, really?
Like it was crazy. Yeah,
that's crazy. Well, listen, you.
So draft night had to be dope for you then.
No, when I seen like the numbers on the teams of where they were drafting, and I seen Miami was 13, like I was set on Miami.
That's love.
Months prior before the even draft, it was just like a dream to go to Miami. And on draft night, the Celtics had the 14th pick, and they had already like guaranteed me the pick for the most part. And then Miami took me right before at 13, so it was a blessing.
Hey, you would love Antoine Walker, by the way. You ever heard the quote that he said when they asked him about why he shoots so many threes? He said, because they ain't got no 4-pointers. You'd love that. Yo,
So
Twan
he
used to get them. Twan used to get them up. Twan used to get them up. They asked him why he shoots so many threes because they ain't got no 4-pointers.
That was before everyone started
Yes,
shooting
that was
threes.
before everybody started shooting threes. Twan was get them up.
Yeah.
The last thing before I go, I can't get out of here without asking you the greatness of Spo.
Yeah.
Considered, even though he coached me, like a brother to me. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you see the greatness?
Well, look at it was a hard decision. When I left, because there were a couple of guys there that were with me since the beginning, and one of the things as a coach that I never liked to do is meet. I didn't like to meet as coaches. We would meet and plan training camp and all of that stuff. I would do all the practices, and so I didn't need to meet. I wanted all the coaches, after a game to watch the film, and then to write down their notes and slide them under my door. And then I would take their notes and I'd compile their notes and I'd put them in my practice plan and everything. But I wasn't a big meeting guy, because when you get in coaches meetings, you start arguing with one another, and I appreciate people's opinions, so I want them written down. I don't want to get into an argument with them. And so I'm always trying to find my peace. 5 a.m. in the morning, I got 24 donut holes from Dunkin' Donuts and a big 18-ounce gulp coffee. And I got a little light shining on my desk, and I'm writing my practice plan over and over and over again. And Spo used to, and I'd see the blue cards come under my door, and I'd read all of the coaches, and every year Spo's comments got better, deeper, more smarter, higher basketball IQ. I mean, the questions he was asking and the points he were bringing up, I said, this guy's got something going for him. When you're staring at a video of games, for 15 years, and you watch every aspect of what's going on the court, then you have a reservoir of knowledge. And so, when I decided that Spo would, and I said to Mickey, I said, I think Eric could be a good guy to do this, and let's go with it. It also was going to be 2 years where Dwayne was going to be MVP. We still had you. We had V's. And so he had 2 playoff years. And he got us in the playoffs 2 years in a row, and he was growing. And you guys were pulling Spo along as players, just like, Kareem and Magic and Worthy pulled me along until I got my feet under myself in 1984-85. And then the big 3 came. Was he ready for the big 3? That was what I said when we got the big 3. And that first year, from that standpoint, he was ready for that. So those 2 years of apprenticeship, I think, got him ready for the big 3. And he's just turned out to be a great coach, a great communicator. And he's of a generation now that he understands. And I think you have to today to understand the nature of the contemporary player. I hate to use that. It's almost insulting to players to say you're a contemporary player. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm soft because I wasn't a tough guy back in the 90s or the 80s? And no. You've just been educated differently. You've been taught differently. There's an internet. There's social media. There's TikTok, Why does Nick Saban and why does Dick Bennett, or why do all these great coaches now leave college football? It's interesting what Saban said. He addressed Congress and about NIL and the portal and what's going on in college basketball, college football, and everything. And he said, I came in as a coach, and I really believe this as a coach, is that when I got a player, I wanted him to leave the university finished, as a finished product. He's either going to go in the NFL, and most of the guys at Alabama went into the NFL, and if he didn't go in the NFL, he was ready to be a lawyer, or he was ready to be a doctor. He was ready to go into business, and he said, I can't do that anymore. He said, I've lost the ability, because it's a one and done thing. They're in a portal. They want more money. They go somewhere else. And so the great coaches are leaving the game because of their coaching purity of wanting to develop young men into great men. And so that's my answer to the whole thing. What was your question, by the way?
No, I was just talking about the greatness of Spo, and did you see?
And that's Spo,
yes,
okay,
yes.
Contemporary coach, and that's Spo, and so he has a great relationship with the guys. Today I was watching the film session after that night. The other night, it was not very pretty the other night, but he handled it perfectly,
yes.
and guys are ready to go up to Charlotte and get our first win of the season.
Yes,
I hope.
Yes, yes. Killer.
Well, Coach, here we always do a final segment, the OG's advice.
You got it.
I usually let the OG over there, UD, do it.
Mm-hmm.
But today, because you are the Godfather and the OG, everyone hears about Heat culture, and everyone understands it doesn't quite understand it, but I always tell them it's real. Heat culture is real. So your OG advice for any coach that's trying to create a championship culture, because I think it's important for these guys to understand that there's a lot of that goes into to winning championships.
Well, the culture, a culture is simply an environment. And so when you use the word culture, is you're trying to create the proper environment in which everybody can flourish, can work, can be part of something that's bigger than themselves. But I'll sort of leave it with this because it has to do with an individual. And I've stole this comment and this quote from an author unknown, but it should go this way: a player's, a coach's, a man's greatest fear should be their fear of extinction. But what they should fear one day is to become extinct with insignificance. And what that means to me is that what they want to do in that culture is they want to make sure that culture can help them do something that matters and counts for themselves, for their family, for their legacy, for their city, for whatever. And you can make it bigger than just a culture of just winning. And so that's what I think, Mickey and myself, when we got together, he wanted a culture that had a great work ethic to it. He wanted a culture of competency. He wanted a culture of reliability, and I think that's what he got. But really, at the end of the day, when players leave this game, they got to feel like they did something that mattered and something that counted. You've done it. UD has done it. And a lot of the guys that we've had here in Miami have done it. The ones who haven't done it here in Miami, they still feel it when they walk out the door. It's up to them to take it to another level then from there.
Toughest, nastiest, most disliked. Toughest, nastiest, most disliked, and most conditioned team in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's the culture. Coach, we're going to let you get out of here, but the young guys, Bam, Tyler, the young guys. Yeah. What's the next step?
Well, that's up to them. You see, they got 6-7 years of experience. They've learned from you. They've learned from the veterans. It's on them right now. I'm not trying to lay anything on them. Yeah. Because it's a team sport, but both of them have the ability, to do different things, to do bigger things. But it all is going to come down to winning. And so, right now they're the guys. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Terry Rozier, all the other guys that sort of come up, sort of behind them. You got to put all this together and put it together and get out there and win. And I think they're more than capable of it. So he's got a great mentor in you.
Oh, that's my guy. I talk to him every day.
I appreciate what you do all the time. And every time I see UD, come in and talking to guys, or Zoe, talking to guys, and things of that nature. Mike, when you come down, other players come down. You don't realize how important it is for young players to have somebody come over and say something to them, whether it's good or bad, and they listen. I remember when Jerry West said to me, my third year in the league, I thought I was out of the league, and I went to the Lakers. I was at practice. I just got cut. They claimed me on waivers for $100, and I was in that gym an hour before they were going to have practice, getting up shots, and then Jerry West walks in, got a ball under his arm. He walks right up to me, and he says, "Pat, welcome to the LA Lakers. You're really going to help us." And he mentored me in a lot of ways, and that's what you're doing to our young guys. And I listened to him. Yes. Anything he said to me, I listened to what he had to say, and he made me a better player, a better person.